If you're a Cleveland Browns fan looking for a break from the emotional roller coaster that is the price we pay from loving then hating our Browns, then a big welcome to Cleveland Browns Anonymous, a group therapy podcast to help you survive the season. So let's start our meeting.
Hey everyone, it's Brook and Mike I'm calling in from Cleveland. Mike's in Florida.
Hey everybody. Hey Brook. I'm not in Florida. I'm in Delray Beach, Florida. There's a big difference. So
What's the difference?
the difference is it's more, Delray is kind of more New York-y, Philly, East Coast, great food. People stay up late here and go to bed at 7 o'clock, like you, Brook.
That's my sauna time.
Okay. So anyway, but hey, it's 70 degrees, sunny. I'm walking, just got done swimming laps. Have to do my Browns podcast on Zoom. So I hear you guys are getting some snow. So I'm looking at rain.
It's melting away now, which is nice.
Good.
But it's
Good.
cold. It's like 20 to 29 degrees.
Yeah. Well, I know people don't want to hear us talk about our travel. So let's talk Browns. What's your thoughts?
Well, the draft is sneaking up on us. So that's like our Super Bowl. So I'm getting excited.
Once again, our Super Bowl is the draft.
Mock drafts I'm reading.
What's the word on us trading down? What have you heard?
Well, I heard Blockbuster, so that caught my attention.
Now, it's not Andrew Barry's smokescreen, like he did a great job last year.
Well, I just think like this team needs so much help, or not so much help, but it needs a lot of help. So like, in my opinion, like, let's say you really like this tackle from like Miami and you're picking at 6. Well, if you have a pretty good feeling that he's going to be there at 10 and a team at 10 wants to trade up, like, why wouldn't you make that trade?
Yeah. And what would you get? Get there 2?
I mean,
down, get it 2.
I think if you go from like 6 to 10 or like 6 to 11 or 12, you're going to get probably a first rounder next year. You might get a second rounder this year. I mean, Jacksonville went from 5 to 2, and we got their first this year and a second. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the draft analysts, have some sort of like algorithm.
Oh yeah. They got their exchange rates. It's all analytics. It's something we're not specialists at, but I think we were talking earlier about the Browns. The conventional wisdom is they need so much. Okay, really? Let's look at what happened with Denver during the Russell Wilson last year when Sean Payton comes in, and within 2 years they're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and they were an absolute terrible team. They had given away so much. They had their own version of Deshaun Watson. They were trading for Russell Wilson. They were going to let Russ cook. Seattle, which of course won the Super Bowl this year, just basically house cleaned the Broncos. And yet 2 years later, the Broncos are in the playoffs with Sean Payton. The Browns, they need some players, but they need a lot of coaching. And this is what, if you look at we did this a couple weeks ago, Brook, clinically, the Browns could have easily won 4 to 5 games this year. We lost because of just absolute stupid coaching, period. special teams breakdown. I mean, the Jets were just one of many breakdowns. You look at the Bengals game with Flacco, where Stefanski basically had Flacco in a straitjacket that whole game. They were dinking and dunking to Dylan Sampson. I mean, I can relive that season, and there were so many games where you just knew the Browns were going to lose. Some way they're going to find a way to lose. And of course, Minnesota, our great defense, totally collapses. Yeah. So,
well, I think
go ahead.
I think a better example than the Russell getting cut by Denver is what Seattle did, trading away Russell to the Broncos.
Yeah.
And they got 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. And when you watched the Super Bowl, a lot of those players from that trade were the key contributors.
Right. Plus, they had great coaching. They got rid of their, what's his face? Pete Carroll. He goes to Oakland. He totally lays an egg. Russell Wilson goes to Pittsburgh, then the Giants. He lays an egg. I mean, what does that tell you? You know, a lot of times, I mean, and then look at the Cavaliers. Look what the Cavs did this year. Just the last month, they trade Garland for James Harden. Garland's already out for the season, right? DeAndre Hunter is traded. He's out for the season. They get 2 guys that are just bringing it on defense. So we're not only talking about great pickups, we're talking about addition by subtraction. There are a lot of players on the Browns, probably a number on the special teams, who should have been cut a long time ago. They're not coached up. They're making dumb mistakes. You got special teams head coach who should have been canned last year. You had Joe Woods, who should have been canned after the Jets game. This is what is the difference between making the playoffs and not. And I think if Andrew Berry, and this is where I like Todd Monken, as opposed to some young kid who's never called an NFL play in his game, in his life. You got Todd Monken, you got his crew, especially Todd Monken and his offensive line coach, who, by the way, got Joe Thomas's endorsement as a great pickup. This is going to make a huge difference in the draft, because I think Monken's going to have a lot of say. Sometimes you get the feeling it's Stefanski. He's just a good company man who's going to sit in the background. He's surely not going to pound the table and say, I don't want Deshaun Watson. He's a consensus guy. Go along, get along. I think Monken's the kind of guy that's got some chops and who's going to bring it on, leading up to the draft and on draft day. So I would not be surprised if they traded down. They picked up another 2, and they got a stud lineman, left tackle, not a right tackle that they moved to left tackle. That's a classic Andrew Berry move, overriding the head coach and probably Bill Callahan. They're going to get a real live left tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I think offensive line is going to be a big group for us in this draft.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get a great veteran guy to go with Bitonio. I think Bitonio is going to come back. I think one of our centers is going to come back.
I was surprised that Wyatt Teller's being let go.
Well, I think it has to do with the cap as much as anything. But I mean, he was up for. I think he was up. His contract was over. So, but
I saw him because his wife is pretty big on Instagram and TikTok. And I remember when the news broke, she posted something about how, they were super sad leaving Cleveland. They love the city. Their kids love it. Their kids love their school. But, Yeah, unfortunately, that's the nature of
It's a business.
this business.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah, I mean,
really,
you could fix half of your line in this draft.
easily.
And
If
if
you
you've got a great coach and you've got a veteran on that line, I mean, I think with Todd Monken, his background coming from the Ravens, coaching at Georgia, I mean, he's probably like, hey, you've got a stud in Quinchon Judkins. You've got a lightning bolt in Dylan Sampson. Let's fix our line and let's run the ball.
Yeah, you've got Harold Bannon.
Hey, let's stop here. We got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Getting your house ready to sell, or you just need some basic repairs, and you can't get anybody to come out or even return your phone call. Then call Riley Painting and Contracting, your home mechanics, for all of your home repair needs, from electrical, plumbing, roof repairs, and getting your house ready to sell. 45 years in the business, a AAA on the Better Business Bureau, and we're on the preferred contractor list in Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights. You can contact us by calling 216-371-8160 and leave a message. And guess what? We'll call you back.
And you know what? You got some players that if they don't get hurt, I mean, look at DeJuan Jones. First of all, DeJuan Jones, you move him back to right tackle. And I've said this in past podcasts with DeJuan Jones. I'll never forget when he took over from Conklin against Pittsburgh. He made mincemeat out of J.J. Watt. He was kind of whacking him, knocking him down. I mean, those big paws came out. And then, of course, the Browns probably overruled front office, overruled their Bill Callahan and moved him to left tackle, instead of drafting a freaking left tackle. So I think you're going to get a lot of John Dorsey-like common football sense in the room now with the Todd Monken group coming in. They're not going to be allowed to be overruled by the Paul DePodestas. I mean, look at the Paul DePodesta, Andrew Berry guy that went to Minnesota.
Yeah,
I think in 3 years he hit on 2 or 3 out of the 25 picks. I mean, this guy was pathetic. So I'm excited. I think we're gonna see a free agent pickup. We're gonna get DeJuan Jones turned around. We got Zentner, who they picked up 2 years ago. I think one of our centers is going to come back. We're going to draft a stud left tackle, probably sign a real good veteran to replace Teller and get some depth in the O-line. And there you go. And then you're going to switch up the play call and you're going to let it rip. The Browns are going to probably draft a wide receiver. I would not be surprised if they drafted a wide receiver with their number one. They trade down. They figure they can grab a real good. Don't draft this one guy. Who's this one guy that's always hurt? I think he's out.
Well, I know the big guy. The guy I like is Carnell Tate. He's a Buckeye.
Yeah. Yeah, you get him with Judkins. You get a route runner. Yeah. No, I like that. And then there's going to be a bunch of left tackles on the board in the first round. So there's no Joe Thomases out there, once in a lifetime left tackles.
Yeah, but you don't need that. I mean, you just need a quality guy on the end of your offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, left tackle has got to be a stud position. So who knows? They may feel like there's some value on the board in the first round with later on. So, and this is where, analytics meets and analytics has its role. But look at all the great value the Browns have gotten over the years. Nick Chubb at number 2, right? Schlesinger, number 2. It's got some great players at number 2. So they're there. And that's why I love moving down and getting another number 2. I'd love to have 2 number 1s and 2 number 2s. Get 4 starters right off the bat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I don't know. I know I'm not alone in this, but there's some people who say, stand pat at 6, take the best player available. So let's say that's that safety from Ohio State, Caleb Daz. Well, no, I mean, I see. That's where I'm like, no, I mean, I'd go offensive line. I'd go wide receiver. I mean, your defense is very good. You need to fix the offense.
Yeah. I don't know, but if you can fix the offense with 3 picks in the next 2 rounds, really? I mean, we need a wide receiver. We need a left tackle, right? That's what we need.
Well, there's a chance, and I read this somewhere, there's a chance you need a whole new, I mean, everyone on that offensive line won't be back.
Oh, I think DeJuan Jones will be back. I think Batoni will be back. I think after this draft, Batoni is going to say, with Warhop, who's that O-line coach, Monken, they see how they drafted. I think Batonio, he's like Joe Thomas. He's been around. He kind of watched Stefanski in action these last couple of years. He's got to feel like, I don't know. I really like Monken. This is a step in the right direction. Let me get one more. I mean, really, the Browns, I said earlier, I've said many times, they are not that far away from making the playoffs. Their coaching has not been the best. From special teams to Joe Woods to Kevin Stefanski. And I said last week, I'll be very interested to see how he does with Atlanta. I think that's going to be a shit show. So, because he never really, I don't know. We should have done a lot better something those last couple years. So we've had, and you know what? And then they got the quarterback room. You got Deshaun Watson. That's a big wild card. I mean, look at Geno Smith, the resurrection of Geno Smith. The comeback of Sam Darnold. But you need a strong coach, Todd Monken. And hopefully they can knock some sense into Deshaun Watson and say, hey, man, you sucked last couple of years. And you got to step it up. But God forbid they draft a quarterback. Really? I would be drafting in those first 3 rounds at least 2 offensive linemen. At least 2. So.
Yeah, no, I'd be shocked if they draft a quarterback in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, there's nobody there. What, another development? What happened to Dylan Gabriel? Andrew, you and Jimmy and Kevin, you flew out there. This was your guy, right? What, you gotta pick another Dylan Gabriel?
No.
Get your second and third round. Get some O-linemen. Get a young room in there. So, and then get a good wide receivers coach that can get some of our existing wide receivers to step up. So, yeah. What else, Brook?
Well, I think that's it for the Browns. I'd be remiss if I didn't want to shout out the U.S. hockey team. I don't know if you watched that game, but that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Bob, I'm rooting for the U.S., but then MAGA world. Hey, MAGA world just, we beat our enemy, Canada. Really? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's pathetic. It is pathetic. I can see beating the big bad bear, the Russian bear, but Canada, that's pathetic. So, and the women's hockey team, how about them? That's another great story.
Yeah.
And that's getting underplayed. And then we got our Cleveland Heights girl, who was one of the stars. So,
Yeah.
And then we got the Cavs.
Then the Gardos are coming up.
And the Guardians, spring training here, baby. Gardos, we gotta keep those young hitters. One of them has to step it up, stay healthy. We've got some young guns. Somebody's gotta start hitting. And I like moving Quan to center field. That was smart.
Yeah, no, he feels like a center fielder.
And he did play center in college.
Yeah, he's a stud.
So, yeah. All right. What else for shout out?
I think that about covers it.
All right.
So, we'll do another one as the draft starts coming up.
Yeah. Well, let's do a deep dive on. Well, let's really get into mock draft in the next 2 weeks. All right, Brook. We'll catch you later.
All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Cleveland Browns Anonymous podcast with Mike Riley. We have a lot more content on the way as we get this new podcast started. You can also check out some of our other podcasts like the Cleveland Real Estate Investor Podcast and other new ones that will start soon. On any platform that you find yourself listening to us on, feel free to leave us a like or comment or follow us. It always helps.